Welcome to Caleb's Basketball Pod. We haven't recorded in a while, but it's been a busy week, and it's the off season. It's like about the second week or so of NBA free agency, so there's not a lot going on at this moment. But we have got some interesting news since the last time we recorded, so let's jump right in. We got a 3-team trade between the Heat, Clippers, and Utah Jazz. The Clippers received John Collins, the Miami Heat received Norman Powell, and the Jazz received Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson. Let's start on the Jazz front because it's short. Kevin Love's expected to be bought out. He's expected to have quite a few potential suitors. We expect more championship teams. Kevin Love at this point is that like 15th man, that locker room guy that helps keep young guys in check and kind of keeps the locker room straight and positive. And so we expect a championship squad to sign him. I believe Vegas has the Cleveland Cavaliers as the best odds to sign him. I'm not really sure if that would move the needle for them rather than just giving them a locker room voice and a leader. But he may not see a lot of playing time. But that may end up being wherever he's at. Kyle Anderson, I'm not sure if the Jazz are going to keep him where he's at in his career. If he wants to be on the Jazz or whether he wants to be on a championship contending team. We know how good he is and we know how important he can be on a high caliber championship type team. So it's very possible he may want bought out, or he may like the road to mentor some younger guys and get more playing time, I believe, in Utah, because he's a vet. He knows he'll pick up the system quick. He'll be able to teach young guys out on the floor. It's not a bad pickup at all for Utah if they keep him. If they don't, then they did the trade to unload John Collins' contract, and they got the second round pick off of it. Now let's jump to the Miami Heat. But he got Norman Powell. Do I think he is a needle mover for Miami? Not necessarily, but I think he's a huge part of the team as in either a trade asset, which is very possible, or a part to, not saying make Tyler Hero expendable, because Tyler Hero is a lot better scorer than Norman Powell. But Norman Powell can give you 20-some a night. He plays better defense, so it's not that he makes Tyler Hero expendable, it's that he gives you breathing room where if, say, a Giannis were to become available, you could work a trade around Tyler Hero and draft picks maybe and try to acquire Giannis, still have Norman Powell, still have Bam Adebayo. I like the pickup for Miami. I do think he makes them better than they were last season. He gives another go-to guy, and we saw Bam Adebayo struggle a bit last year, but that could have also been because he was forced to be a number 2 scoring option. He may be better as a number 3 scoring option. We know how talented he is, and we know how good he is defensively. So I don't think he's going downhill. I just think it was an amazing season for him, but we know what we can expect from Bam Adebayo. The Clippers side, interestingly enough, I think they got a really good pickup. They got a power forward. This allows you so many different lineups, John Collins. You could start John Collins. You could start Kawhi Leonard. You still have Chris Dunn in the backcourt. If you choose to go defensively, you still have James Harden. There's rumors of Clippers signing Chris Paul and Bradley Beal. Both would be bench players. But they would be able to lead that bench unit that now also includes Brook Lopez. So, I mean, there's a lot of different lines the Clippers can go to. And here's the big thing for the Clippers. It's health. It's staying healthy. We know James Harden has some injury history. Kawhi Leonard sure has some injury history. I mean, it's just, those are your 2 best players, and we aren't sure how they're going to deal and if they're going to be healthy by the end of the season. If they get Bradley Beal, it'll be interesting to see how that works. I do believe there is something to be said to the fact that there was not a facilitator in Phoenix. Bradley Beal's best seasons were alongside Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, we all know, is a really, really good facilitator, and that allows Bradley Beal to get better shots, better looks, maybe just catch and shoot, maybe just in rhythm. He averaged 31 points alongside Russell Westbrook. That's his best career average. James Harden is most definitely a really good floor general, and he is someone to get guys involved, playmaker. So I think he could thrive in Los Angeles, and I hope the best, because I don't by any means think Bradley Beal's done with. I just don't think that Phoenix roster was built well. And I said it last season when they built that team. You put 3 scorers on the floor. You gave no playmakers. You did not get someone to get other guys involved. You didn't have the branch between your scorers and your stars to your other players. None of those guys are a branch, and you didn't have one. With all due respect, Mike Budenholzer was not great at fitting in these pieces. He was not great apparently at having the talks for what I expect from you, what your role is on this team. But it's a fresh start in Phoenix. I think it's best for both parties if Bradley Beal does get bought out. I think it helps Jalen Green get more minutes, allows him to expand. I think, want to say if you're Phoenix, try Jalen Green as the point guard. We've tried Devin Booker as it. We've just seen a lack of facilitating, a lack of getting guys involved. And it doesn't necessarily mean assist. Sure, he's had 11 assists or so in a game. But it's not that leadership. It's not that communication. I say we try Jalen Green. We keep Devin Booker at what he is best, at off-the-ball scorer, that go get you a bucket killer out there, because that's what he is, and you allow Jalen Green get some confidence. We saw him struggle with confidence in the playoffs last year. I think if the ball's in his hands more, and he's expected to be a facilitator and playmaker, not only for himself but for teammates, I think that gives him a little bit more responsibility and a little bit more confidence. Thing I want to touch on real quick before we get out of here, I want to talk about these LeBron James Los Angeles rumors. We're hearing today that the Lakers informed Luka of the new purchase of the team, but they did not inform LeBron. If that's the case, that's very odd. And it's especially odd spot for LeBron James, being the guy that he knows before anyone on any trades, any this, any that, and then he's behind the 8 ball on this one, and Luka's not. But you can see the team shifting to Luka, and that's partly because we know this is LeBron's maybe last year or two. So everything's just shifting in the direction of Luka Doncic. And there's nothing wrong with that, to go and to pack and build towards your younger guy, your younger future superstar. But don't forget about your older guy that's been there since he left his hometown team, and he did win you guys a championship, and he's one of the greatest of all time. So don't take that for granted, and don't disrespect a player like that. Just because you have your shiny new toy, so to speak, there's still room to respect both of them. But unfortunately, we see this with the Lakers. We see this with the franchise. A lot of it's ownership, switching, but a lot of it's like the management, and we've seen this with Rob Pelinka. We've seen what he did with Dorian Finney-Smith to try to get teams to not sign him so he could re-sign him cheaper, and we saw it backfired, and Houston got to still. They got Dorian Finney-Smith. So it's just, if you're going to play dirty, you have to be prepared to face the consequences of it. They may end up losing LeBron James before this season's even over. And that would be the consequence of it. And that's one of your main stars, your money getters. And you may end up not having him by the time the season's over. And if that happens, that's because of what you did. And there's no one else to blame on it, but just for disrespect you showed one of the greatest NBA players of all time. So in my opinion, rightfully so, if LeBron does leave LA, it's because you are not appreciating what you have, and you're not appreciating one of the greats of all time that you get to play in your Lakers jersey. Even if he's not one of the all-time Laker greats, he is one of the all-time NBA greats. On the other hand, I don't think it's helping the relationship that LeBron's really teasing and trolling different things. We see the post likes, for comments, all about like the Cleveland stuff that he's doing, and that's big time trolling. And maybe that's because he wants to be back in Cleveland, or maybe that's just because he's a little ticked at the Lakers and he's just trying to put pressure on them. But we're seeing the pressure's not really working, and they're staying in the same spot, and it just seems like there's being dysfunction drove between these two. Not prediction, but don't be surprised if there's not talks, and I'm not saying it would happen, but if there's not discussions of a potential buyout of LeBron James before this upcoming season, because LeBron's at the point where he does have to play for a team where he feels like he's being disrespected. And if things keep going how they're going, I see this ending for a very messy divorce, so to speak. But thank you guys for watching, and come back next week. I'm going to try at least drop 2 episodes. Busy week, a lot going on, but we're getting right back to it, guys. And no matter what, off season, we're going to keep going. Next week, we'll talk about some summer league and some standouts we see in that. And let's just have fun, enjoy our weekend, and enjoy the basketball you get to see, even if it be in summer league, because this is all we get to see basketball-wise for a while. So enjoy it, and thank you guys for watching.